Good morning, I'm Earth Dr. Reese Halter, and you're listening to Earthcast, SOS.com. In the news this morning, the North Atlantic right whales are in dire jeopardy from deadly oil and gas exploration. No! For the second time in 2 years, my colleagues have asked President Obama to suspend plans for underwater oil and gas surveys off the Atlantic coast because the last remaining 500 critically endangered North Atlantic right whales on the globe will be harmed, deafened, and killed. There's 8 outstanding permits, and those seismic surveys with their 252 decibels blasting every 10 seconds for weeks or months nonstop, scouring the seabed for more heat-trapping, deadly, climate-altering fossil fuels. It's incongruous. On Earth Day, last Friday in New York City, 171 world leaders gathered at the United Nations to sign the Paris Agreement, with regulations to stay under 1.5 degrees C. Hello, in March, globally, we edged ever closer with 1.29 degrees C as the average temperature, and it was the 6th consecutive month of record-breaking heat. What the frack are we doing even exploring for more oil and gas? Never mind in the oceans. Those seismic surveys in the Atlantic will also harm loggerhead and leatherback sea turtles, critically endangered Eastern Atlantic bluefin tuna, sharks, the few remaining cods, and so many other sea creatures. Ladies and gentlemen, a deaf whale is a dead whale. And those North Atlantic right whales, well, they already face awful odds for survival. Since 2004, over 44 right whales have died. Half were female. Did you know that a female needs to calve 4 times in her life to replace herself because at least 2 or likely 3 calves will die? 83% of all North Atlantic right whales have been entangled with fishing gear at least once. 59% have been entangled with fishing gear more than once, and one whale has suffered from 5 separate fishing gear entanglements. Those fishing gear, they scar the whales. They open them to infections, and in a worst case scenario, the whales starve to death over a half-a-year period as the fishing gear cuts them to the bone. The facts are losing 1 or 2 females of the North Atlantic right whales, to be exact, a year will drive them to extinction. Extinction means forever. Ship strikes are killing the right whales quickly. Naval seismic sonar exercises are deafening the whales. And all this, if it isn't bad enough, their summer feeding grounds in the Gulf of Maine are heating up faster than any other body of water on the globe. That means that the phytoplankton and the krill, the miniature shrimp-like creatures, and other zooplankton, they're tiny creatures that they eat and they feed upon, are in dire jeopardy. These 60-foot, 100-ton whales require 2 tons of krill and zooplankton a day for a couple of months from the Bay of Fundy. With the climate crisis, the right whales are now hanging around and feeding from November to February in Cape Cod Bay. Calves are even being born there instead of Florida. These whales are showing us the extent of the climate crisis and how quickly the oceans are warming. President Obama, please, for your daughters Malia and Sasha, stop seismic surveying in the Atlantic Ocean. the Gulf of Mexico, and the Pacific Ocean. If the whales die, we die. Hashtag save nature now. Hashtag love nature. Hashtag love is the solution. Earthcast SOS depends upon you, the listeners. So come on to drreese.com, DRREESE.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and click on the donate button, or pick yourself up any number of splendid books on bees, trees, seas, or wild weather. Just do it. drreese.com. I'm Earth Dr. Reese Halter, reminding you to protect our planet.